In a small village nestled among green fields and dusty roads lived a young girl named Zara. Her family was like many others in her community. They believed a daughter's greatest achievement was a good marriage. Education was seen as something for boys, a path to a job and providing for a family. For girls, the path was already decided. It led to a husband's home, to a life of managing a household and raising children. No one ever asked Zara what she wanted. It was simply assumed that her dreams would be small and simple, fitting neatly into the life that was planned for her. But Zara's heart held a different dream, one that flickered brightly in the silence of her world. She loved books more than anything. The stories and ideas inside them were like windows to a world far beyond her village. She saw that learning was a special kind of freedom. While other girls learned to cook and sew, Zara longed to learn about science and the human body. She wanted to understand how life worked, how to heal sickness, and how to help people. This was her secret wish, a tiny seed of hope she kept hidden from everyone. To keep her dream alive, Zara became a creature of the early morning. Long before the sun woke up and the rooster crowed, she would quietly slip out of bed. The house would be still and dark, everyone else lost in their sleep. This was her special time. With a small, flickering lamp, she would open her worn-out textbooks. The pages were filled with difficult words and complex diagrams, but she did not give up. She studied with great focus, her mind absorbing every piece of information. This silent daily act was her private rebellion against the future that was chosen for her. In those quiet hours, Zara was not just a girl from a small village. She was a scientist, an explorer, a future doctor. She memorized biological terms and solved difficult math problems. The silence was her classroom, and the darkness was her friend. She knew that if anyone found her, they would tell her to stop. They would say, "What is the use of all this studying? A girl belongs in the kitchen, not in a library." So she guarded her secret well. Her early morning studies were her silent promise to herself that she would build a different life, one page at a time. Years passed, and Zara's silent efforts began to bear fruit. She did very well in her school exams, surprising all her teachers. Her mind was sharp, and her dedication was unmatched. One day, a letter arrived at her small house. It was a thick, important-looking envelope. With trembling hands, Zara opened it. Inside was the news she had only dared to dream of. She had been awarded a national scholarship to study medicine at a big university in the city. It was a chance to become a doctor, a chance to make her secret dream a reality. For a moment, her heart filled with pure joy. However, the news was not received with joy by her extended family. When her uncles and aunts heard about the scholarship, they came to her house. They did not come to congratulate her. Instead, they came to complain. "What is this foolishness?" one uncle said, his voice loud and angry. "Sending a girl to the city to study? It is a waste of time and money. She should be getting married." Another relative added, "This will bring shame to our family. No one will want to marry a girl who is so overeducated." Their words were like sharp stones thrown at her beautiful dream. Through all the noise and criticism, Zara's father remained silent. He sat in a corner, his face etched with worry and confusion. He was a simple man who had always followed the traditions of his village. He loved his daughter, but he was also afraid of what the community would say. The loud voices of his relatives filled the small room, pressuring him to make Zara refuse the scholarship. Zara watched her father, her heart aching. His silence was not one of anger, but of a deep, internal struggle. He was caught between the old ways and his daughter's bright future. Zara felt a wave of despair wash over her. The people who were supposed to support her were the ones trying to hold her back. The scholarship, which should have been a key to a new life, had become a source of conflict. Her relatives saw her ambition not as a strength, but as a flaw. They believed her place was fixed, and she was wrong to want more. Her father's silence was the most painful part. felt like a wall between them, and she feared he would side with tradition, leaving her dream to wither and die. The days leading up to her departure were filled with a heavy, unspoken tension. The arguments had stopped, but a cloud of disapproval hung in the air. Zara packed a small bag with a few clothes and her most precious books. She was not sure if her father would even let her go. Then, on the morning she was supposed to leave for the city, her mother came into her room. She sat beside Zara on the bed, her face calm but her eyes full of emotion. She did not say much, but her presence was a source of quiet comfort. Her mother then did something Zara would never forget. She took off her own glass bangles, the ones she had worn for many years. They were simple, old bangles, worn smooth with time. They were not made of gold or silver, but they were her mother's treasure. She gently slid them onto Zara's wrists. The bangles clinked softly, a delicate sound in the quiet room. It was a gesture that spoke volumes, a silent transfer of strength from one generation to another. Zara looked at the bangles, then at her mother's loving face, her eyes filling with tears. Then, her mother leaned in and whispered words that would become Zara's guiding light. "Life will be difficult," she said softly. "People will try to stop you. They will try to break your spirit. These bangles are made of glass. They may break. If you must, let them break. But promise me you will never, ever let them break your courage. Your courage is more precious than any jewel. It is the one thing you must always protect." It was the most powerful speech Zara had ever heard, a lesson in strength delivered in a loving whisper. With her mother's words echoing in her heart, Zara felt a renewed sense of purpose. Her father stood at the door, still silent. He did not say goodbye, but as she walked past him, he placed a gentle hand on her head for a moment. It was a silent blessing, his way of finally letting her go. As Zara walked towards the bus stop, the clinking of the glass bangles on her wrist was a constant reminder of her mother's love and her promise. She was leaving her village behind, but she was not alone. She carried her mother's courage with her. Years later, a confident woman stepped off the bus in the same village she had once left with so much uncertainty. It was Zara, but she was different now. She was Dr. Zara. She had completed her medical degree with honors, her hard work, and her mother's words pushing her forward through every challenge. The city had taught her many things, but it had not made her forget where she came from. She had returned not to show off her success, but to serve the people of her village, the very same people who had once doubted her journey. Zara did not waste any time. She used her savings to open a small clinic in the center of the village. Above the door, a simple sign read, "Free clinic for all." Her mission was clear, to provide healthcare to everyone, especially those who could not afford it. The news spread quickly. At first, people were hesitant. They remembered the girl who had defied tradition. But when a sick child was cured and an old man's persistent cough was treated, their doubts began to melt away. They saw her not as a rebellious girl, but as a healer. The same relatives who had once told her that education was useless now came to her clinic for help. They came with their fevers, their pains, and their worries. Zara treated them all with the same kindness and professionalism. She never once reminded them of their past words. Her gentle care was her only response. Her father, now older, would often sit quietly in a corner of the clinic, watching his daughter work. A look of immense pride shone in his eyes. His silence was no longer born of confusion, but of deep, profound respect for the woman his daughter had become. Zara's story became a quiet lesson for the entire village. Her success was not loud or boastful, it was humble and useful. The clinic stood as a testament to her strength. It showed everyone that silence is not always a sign of weakness. For Zara, the silence of her early mornings was a time of preparation. Her father's silence was a hidden struggle that ended in support. and her own quiet service as a doctor was the most powerful statement she could ever make. She had broken her glass bangles long ago during her difficult student years, but her courage had remained unbreakable,